Европейские страны в прежние десятилетия и столетия действовали как колонизаторы, так и продолжают действовать сегодня. В очередной раз просто обманули развивающиеся страны и продолжают обманывать. Очевидно, что при таком подходе масштаб проблем с продовольствием в мире будет только нарастать, к сожалению, огромному нашему сожалению, что способно привести к небывалой гуманитарной катастрофе.
Money and rang the New York Stock Exchange bell. They all applauded. He was there at the New York Stock Exchange to raise some money, and then $1 billion, and the EU already provided. This is on top of the 10 billion. The EU already provided an additional 5 billion in macro financial assistance for the country. So there you go. The EU suffering. European countries can't keep the lights on, but we're just going to send billions in aid to Ukraine.
Okay.
And I wonder if they're selling those T-shirts.
Right.
Yeah.
What did this
How does he
T-shirt
get
say? There's
T-shirts
no
put-
price of freedom, right? What does it say? Let's look again. The power of freedom.
The power of
Power
freedom.
of freedom.
Okay. I don't know what that means.
Should reverse it and say the freedom of power.
Yeah.
The power of freedom.
Salty Ball in our chat says, you have to understand the Ukraine invasion was all about Taiwan. Russia goading EU into conflict, North Korea, etc. I've said all along that, of course, the main focus, yes, is China and Taiwan. And when I said this the other day, China invading Taiwan, someone corrected me and said, China can't invade their own country. Taiwan is China, so Taiwan can't be invaded by China. Okay, fair point, fair point. But when China, mainland China, decides to visit its island of Taiwan, it's not going to be pretty. And that's the main focus. And that's what all of this is about. All right, we've got more news to get to here on the show. We're going to talk about the IAEA report. We're going to talk about Israel attacking Syria. We've got a special guest to talk about that in just a few moments. Vanessa Beeley, excellent journalist Vanessa Beeley. She's going to be joining us from Syria to talk about that story. And we're going to talk about Serbia and NATO. But first, let's talk about this International Atomic Energy Agency report, the nuclear report, which just came out today. Now, you remember last week, you had the IAEA director, Rafael Grossi, showing up with a number of inspectors. They were making their way from Kiev all the way over to Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. It has been under attack by Ukrainian shells for the past few weeks, and Russia has held the power plant since early March. There is no disputing, among anybody who actually pays attention to the actual data and the journalists on the ground, where the shells are coming from. It is coming from the Ukrainian side.
Well, a Ukrainian general admitted that last week, right? But the IAEA said, we're here now, mommy's here, like we're going to get it taken care of. We're going to tell you how this is happening, why. They promised us they were going to stay until it's over, right?
Right.
That was we all waited for the director to finish his vacation, interrupt his vacation, get there quicker, right? Because we are now all concerned about a nuclear event. So they released their report today. Their conclusion is basically, yeah, that's dangerous and it should stop.
So here is the report. Yeah, I mean, it's a whole lot of gobbledygook, bureaucratic gobbledygook, and just garbage. So they were there for a number of days watching as the shelling continued. Here's the report: the nuclear safety, security, and safeguards in Ukraine. The second summary report by the Director General. And, has all we got a nice photo shot here.
How can they date it April 28th through September 5th when they only just told us they got there on September 1st?
Because this is when the last report concluded. So their first summary report.
And let me just ask you, out and out, is it safe? Do we risk a threat of any meltdown or radiation leak or such thing right now?
Thank you very much. Good to be with you again. The situation is very worrying, continues to be very worrying. I was there, as you said, last week. I returned, and the shelling continues. So we are still facing a very grave danger. In your question, there were a number of things you mentioned in terms of a meltdown. I doubt it, but the mere fact that there is a continuity of attacks and shelling, deliberate or not, wittingly or unwittingly, people are hitting a nuclear power plant, the largest in Europe,
So who is hitting the power plant, and why are they continuing? Wasn't that your whole job, Raphael? I mean, I know you want to get back to Vienna, you know, and have some great chocolate or whatever, but for crying out loud, you were there for like 2 days, arguably one of the biggest stories in the world right now. Who is shelling the nuclear power plant?
I mean, in his defense, who wants to stick around a power plant that's being bombed?
Yeah, but that's your whole job. Like,
Right.
You're the IAEA director. Like, what else do you have? What other situation in the world demands your attention right now besides the Ukrainian nuclear power plant that's under siege?
So I must say
I thought it was-
that the danger continues.
So when you say people are hitting, can you make a determination as to who is hitting?
I cannot make that determination. We don't have the means to do that. There